Hello there, Matthew Armstrong here on day 21 of our 100-day challenge to create financial freedom in our lives. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible? What other possibilities can we just step into right now that will allow us to create this phenomenal lifestyle within 100 days? Because that's what it's all about, my friend. It is about creating a phenomenal lifestyle and be able to do the things that we want to do in life and have the freedom that we know is our birthright. To have freedom. Freedom of choice. Freedom of where we want to go, where we want to live, what we want to do, who we want to do it with. That's the freedom I'm talking about. That's what I want for you, and that's what I want to magnify for myself as well. I have a pretty huge target. Well, it depends on your point of view. For some people, my target is minuscule. For others, it's huge. It's like unattainable. And some look and just say, that's ridiculous how small your target is, Matthew. My target is to be earning maybe that was a Freudian slip, $30,000 per month by the end of this 100 days. That's my target. I set targets, not goals, because goals can end up with a lot of disappointment, because quite often in life we don't actually achieve our goals, right? If we find that we're achieving all of our goals, then the likelihood is we're setting our goals far too small. We're making them so easily reachable that they're not really challenging us. They're not really stretching us to our limits. We're not really growing. We're not really doing things that scare us. But going back to goals, the reason I don't set goals is I had this distinction, this realization once when, because I've had my fair share of huge ambitions in the past, huge goals, and many of them I didn't achieve. And I noticed a lot of people around me as well, people I've coached, clients of mine, and just people I know that have had goals and not achieved them. And what do? Then they beat themselves up. They minimize themselves, thinking that they're not good enough, they're not worthy. And I'm the first to put my hand up and say, yeah, I've done that too. And but I was constantly told, so this is maybe going completely against the grain of many things you've been told in the past, or that you've learned or read or whatever, or what you've done. Some people say, well, goal setting works, and yeah, goal setting has definitely worked for me too. I've set some amazing goals that have come true, and it's just fantastic. But a lot of them didn't, and sometimes, especially the optimist, kind of forgets about the ones that didn't and go, yeah, goal setting, great. But what I found is a lot of people get disappointed and they end up minimizing themselves and beating themselves up because they don't achieve their goals. So I got this distinction one day, because our words are very, very powerful. And the origination of the word goal in Latin means jail. So it's like going into a jail, right? So I was with a couple of friends playing archery, doing archery once. And we're doing the archery, and we're all aiming for the bullseye. Of course, what else would you do? You're aiming for that gold circle where that's the bullseye, and that's where you're aiming for. That's your target. And you have different rings around it, right? Archery target. So we're all aiming for the bullseye. We're not hitting the bullseye every time. I might be hitting the bullseye once every 5 times and hitting that gold circle. Once every 5 times. And I was thinking, so 1 in 5, I'm actually hitting that target that I'm aiming for. But was I disappointed? Was I upset? Was I beating myself and minimizing myself? No, I wasn't. Because it wasn't my goal. It wasn't my goal to hit that bullseye. If I went to the archery range and I stood and I said, my goal today is to hit that golden circle in the middle every time. That's my goal. My goal is to get that. So what if I was only getting it 1 in 5 times? If that was really my goal, I wouldn't have had a good day. I wouldn't have enjoyed it, because every time I would have missed that goal circle, I'd be I missed it. But I had a great, enjoyable time, because it was my goal to hit the golden circle in the middle. That was my target. That was what I was aiming for. And if I didn't hit it, great. Let's see how much closer I can get next time. When I do hit it, great, celebrate. When I don't hit it, great. That's where I need to aim differently. So So I need to aim off maybe a little bit just to get that right. Do you get it? That's the difference between setting goals and having targets. So what I choose for myself these days is to have targets. And I can set myself some really, really high targets. Targets where I have to be like, to get it. But see, if I don't get it, I often get pretty close. And if I do get it, wow, amazing. And it allows me to set targets that are beyond what I believe is maybe probable. Not possible, but probable. Because it hasn't happened in the past, so then it's like a low probability. But of course the past doesn't equal the future unless you live there, right? So I'm just having a relaxed conversation with you right here, right now. So set some targets. Forget about the goals. Forget about the disappointments of the past. Forget about the stuff that hasn't gone right. You've got my permission to stop beating yourself up. Stop minimizing yourself because you haven't lived up to whatever expectation you might have had or whatever expectation somebody else might have had of you. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is right now, right here, what you're picking up right now. What I'm transmitting to you and what you're picking up. Set some targets. Set some targets that are bigger than any of the goals that you ever set. And take away the goals, take them away. Just try it on. I know it's a different paradigm. I know it's a different way of thinking. But in my experience, it's powerful. It's very, very powerful to have targets in which to aim for. Forget about the goals. So when you miss the target, if you miss the target, doesn't matter, because the likelihood is you'll have definitely gone more in that direction than if you didn't, right? So if I wanted to play archery, if I wanted to do archery, I saw that target and I went, okay, well, it's to get that golden circle every time, that's going to be really difficult. So my goal is just to hit the board, just so my arrow doesn't fly off somewhere. Just to hit the board, that's my goal. So that's more of like a, not such a big goal, right? But it's more realistic. I have more chance of doing it. You see what I'm getting at? But if I have my target, I'm aiming for that golden circle, that's my target. And even if I don't get it, I'm still getting in the air and I'm getting closer every time, generally. If I miss, okay, just change my approach slightly, aim slightly different, hold the bow differently, and that's it. Set some targets. Set some big targets. And that's the distinction I would offer you today. If you haven't already watched it, make sure you watch video 1, click the link here. And if you haven't joined our team, click the link down here, join our team. This is an amazing vehicle to create financial freedom in our lives. And it makes it much more probable when we have a vehicle that is scientifically proven, that is tried and tested, and all it takes is taking the massive actions to make it happen. And if you're willing to do that, then click on the link below, enter your details, watch an amazing video. It will absolutely change your life once you get on board and take the daily actions. See you later.